everyone. If you watch my Instagram stories, you will know that yesterday and last night I was out. And by out, I mean at bars with gin, and I went to an ice bar with shots and all sorts of things. And I don't normally go out. So today the face is paying the toll, and I haven't put any makeup on. So yes, I do look like the living dead. However, you'll just have to deal with it for this story because I'm not getting makeup on just to film this, because this is just going to be a quick chat about that time that I was accused of murder. Now, that sounds ridiculous, but it's what happened. And I will say that there is a part of this story where I am to blame for a part of it, and I did do something incredibly stupid that could have resulted in injury. I am well aware of that, but we'll get to that at the correct time. But the story is, I was once accused of murder in a shop. It happened at the end of last year in December, and I had gone to the shop with my daughter, my 6-year-old daughter, and I was just wandering about doing my own thing, wandering around the shop, and we live in a very rural location. So when you go to the shop, you tend to bump into 9 or 10 people that you know. People know everybody where I live. So we were in our nearest town, and we'd already seen a few people that we knew. It was full of people from my daughter's school and everybody like that. Everybody sort of goes to the shop at the same time for some reason. So we were in there, and I'd been up and down the aisles picking bits and bobs. And I'm not going to say the name of the shop because, I mean, if you follow me on Twitter, you probably know, because I did go on a bit of a rant on Twitter about it at the time, and I did contact their social media team, which again I'll get into. However, I'm not going to say the name of the shop in this video, but if you're on my Twitter, you probably already know. And if you're in the UK, it might not be hard for you to figure out the brand of this shop, because it's a sort of a shop that's available in rural communities. So we were in this shop, and we'd gone up and down the aisles. We were getting our bits and bobs and everything that we needed, and we had gone down the wine aisle. Now, this, it just adds to the embarrassment. So I was perusing the wine, and me and my husband were planning on having a movie night, so I was picking a wine that would go really nice with our movie night, when all of a sudden I noticed there was a bit of commotion, and it sounded like someone shouting, and I just didn't really, I don't know why, but I just didn't tune in. I don't know what I thought was happening, but I just didn't tune in until eventually a woman from up the top end of the aisle, I was at the bottom, a woman who worked at the shop in the uniform and everything, came around the corner and pointed at me, and she shouted, "Are you driving the blank?" Which is well, it was my car. It's not my car anymore. I might tell you the story of what happened to my car another day. But yeah, so she was shouting out, "Are you the driver of this car registration?" Shouting out my registration. So instantly I thought, yeah, that's me. So by this point, because she was shouting all of the way down the aisle, people were looking. So I instantly thought, something's gone on here. Someone's broken into my car, someone's hit my car, something's happened. So she came running down the aisle, and she just started shouting, "You've hit someone, you've hit someone." So by that point, I'm freaking out, thinking, I haven't hit anybody, what's happening? She went, "You've left your handbrake off and you've hit someone." So she sort of said, follow me. By this point, everybody was looking, because people know who I am, and all of a sudden she's shouting that you've hit someone, and there was just mass commotion. As you can imagine a small community, and all of a sudden someone that you know is being shouted at for hitting someone in the middle of the shop. So everybody's looking at me, and I am absolutely devastated. At this point, my daughter starts to cry, and I sort of walk with the woman saying, "Oh, whoever hit, can you tell me what's happened? And she went, "You'll have to talk to him," and pointed me over to a man, and then she just walked off and left me. So I didn't know, am I allowed to leave the shop? What's going on? Who've I hit? What's happening? And the man's on the phone. So I walk over to him and I'm like, "Can you just tell me what's happened, please?" So he's going, yes, I've got her here. I'm not going to let her leave. No, she's hit somebody. Yep, she's hit 1 or 2 people. So by this point, I'm thinking, oh my God, I've killed someone. I've left the handbrake off. I've killed someone. Everybody around is standing, staring. There's whispering, there's pointing. I can hear my name being said. I can hear my daughter's name being said. I am mortified. My daughter's crying her eyes out. So I'm standing there trying to get the attention of this man, going, "Excuse me, who are you on the phone to? What's happening? Can I leave the shop and see what's happened?" He puts his hand out to stop me from leaving. So I'm stood there like a prisoner in the shop with my daughter crying, holding onto a basket, not sure what the hell's going on. I then realised that he's on the phone to the police. So he's given out my registration number to the police, and he's telling them, yes, I've definitely hit someone, that I've hit 1 or 2 people. My car has rolled and hit a few people in the car park. Oh, and I'm being told I can't leave. So by that point, you can imagine that I am 100% convinced I've killed someone. People around me are saying, oh, she's ran someone over, she's ran someone over. People were all talking about it all around me. It was just an absolute fiasco. Absolute fiasco. So by this point, I'm starting to really panic now, because I'm not allowed to leave the shop. I'm being told I can't leave. Everybody's talking about me. He's on the phone to the police and he was refusing to talk to me. Every time I try and say to him, can you just tell me what's happened, please? He puts his hand up to silence me, sort of like, shut up, when I'm on the phone to the police. So by this point, I thought something has to be done. I'm going to have to do something. So I put my basket of shopping down. Obviously, I'm not going to shoplift some wine to add to my crime spree. So I run over to the woman on the till, who was the woman who shouted down of the aisle that I had hit someone, and ask her, do you know what's happening? She didn't want to tell me either. So I said, can I just have some paper then so I can start writing down my details, what's going on? So she just gave me a piece of paper and just handed it over, then carried on serving someone else. And I said, can you just tell me who I've hit? And she just looked at me and then carried on doing whatever she was doing. So by this point, I was in absolute horror. And so I started writing down my details, my phone number, because I didn't know who I'd hit or what I'd hit or who I'd killed by this point. So I just started writing down my phone number and all of my information and my address and everything, because I thought I'm going to need this now, because if someone's off to hospital, they're going to need my address. Do you know, I thought, I don't know what's happening. So as I was writing it down, the man who was on the phone came over and just started shouting a crime number at me. So I said, can you just hold on? I'm sorry, I'm getting a bit animated because it was an absolute shambles. So my daughter, as I say, is crying her eyes out, crying and asking me if I'm going to jail for Christmas. I don't know what's happening. I haven't got a clue. And I'm trying to write this down with him shouting a crime number over the top. So I'm saying, what is this number you're giving me? I'm writing down my phone number. Can you just give me a second? He's going, it's a crime number. It's from the police. It's a crime number because you've hit someone. I went, so who have I hit? And he went, you've hit someone in the car park. So he said, ran them over and you've hit a car. So I thought, what on earth have I done? So by this point, he's saying the police are coming. They're on their way. So I just stepped out of the door. I just thought, I'm just going to step out the door and I want to see what's happened. I want to see, have I hit someone, what's going on? Because at this point, I still didn't know. I didn't know if I'd hit a car, have I hit a person. They tell me I've ran someone over and I'm thinking, is it a child? Is it a person? Have they been utterly ran over? Have they been bumped? Is someone going to hospital? Is someone dead? Because the way they were treating me and saying I couldn't leave, I really thought I'd killed someone. And people around me thought I'd killed someone because there was someone saying, oh, she's killed someone in the car park. So people were talking, and basically the rumour was that I had murdered someone in the car park. So I stepped outside of the car park and saw a crowd of people and my car. So I ran over and said, what's happened? When a woman stepped out and went, oh, is this your car? I went, yeah, it is. Yeah, what's happened? Who have I hit? She went, oh, you haven't hit anyone. I went, what? She went, oh, you had left your handbrake off, which this is the part where I say I did something incredibly stupid that could have caused an injury. I had left my handbrake off. Absolute stupidity. I'd left my handbrake off. And my car had started to move. A woman had seen it and she stopped the car with her hand. And another man came over and went, oh, right, okay. They put a brick under my car. And they said to me, oh, well, you know, you didn't hit anyone. We stopped the car. It started to move. We stopped it. We were just waiting for you to come out. Meanwhile, another woman had come and parked up next to somebody and reversed into their car in front of some witnesses and said, oh, doesn't matter. Nobody saw that. She actually said it. She said it to the woman who stood there beside her car. No one saw that. And then she went in the shop. So then someone's gone in the shop to say, oh, a woman's reversed into a car. So the man of the shop came outside and decided that my car had rolled, had hit someone, hadn't even checked, didn't speak to the witnesses to find out. He ran over to the witnesses. There were 5 or 6 people stood there who saw the entire thing, and he just ran over, took down my registration number and decided I'd hit people and called the police. So from there, I then had to take my daughter home, then had to call the police. The police came out to check my car. But then the plot thickens. The man on the phone had then given them a registration number of someone I had apparently ploughed into. So when the police then had to trace this person that I'd ploughed into, told them that no one had hit his car or anything like that. It took a couple of days, but the police finally ascertained that A, I hadn't killed anyone, B, I hadn't hit anyone, C, I hadn't hit anybody's car, and D, that man in the shop was absolutely off his head. So I ended up having the police called on me. I ended up having everybody talking about it. I went to school the next day and one of the mums came over and said to me, "Oh, I hear you ran someone over." So I had to then go round the school and tell all of the mums, "Hi, you've probably heard I ran someone over." No, I didn't. I then had to go around the school telling people I hadn't run anyone over. There was a standing joke for a while not to park behind my car because I'll run you over. And my daughter came out of school saying, "Oh, Mum, everybody at school is saying that you killed someone." All because the man in the shop decided that I had killed someone, ran someone over. It was shouted all over the shop. Everybody knew about it. And so when I complained, because obviously, you know, it's a bit much. So when I complained about it, the people on the Twitter team told me, "Oh no, it was dealt with correctly." So I said, "I really don't think it was. I really don't think it was. I really don't think it was." They said, "Oh, we'll get back to you." A week later, I messaged, "Are you getting back to me?" "We're still investigating, we'll get back to you." 2 weeks later, same thing. 3 weeks later, same thing. 4 weeks later, same thing. By 5 weeks later, I eventually messaged them saying, "What is going on? You're absolutely taking the mick now. Like, have you actually found out what happened?" I got a message back going, "It's all been dealt with correctly and we apologise for any inconvenience." So I asked them why it took them 5 weeks to get back to me. They said, "Oh, we missed the email." Excellent, excellent. So I said, "Look, this is just beyond a joke. So not only do you accuse me of murder, let it get all around the community because everybody shouted at me and refused to let me leave the shop in the middle of everybody. And then you miss the reply. You miss the email where they said just apologise to her, and then that was it. Then you tell me it's been dealt with correctly." Long story short, then I tweeted about it and said that I was really annoyed at the generic response I got. And then I got a really bitchy reply from the company in my DMs saying, "We're sorry if you thought our reply was generic." And they actually quoted it in little inverted commas, generic. So by this point, I did get really, really, really animated, and I called up and ended up calling the customer services, having a complete rant down the phone. They sent me £40 in vouchers. But to be honest, I'm still fuming. So I went to the shop and I did spend my £40 in vouchers, you know, my ill-gotten gains. I spent my £40 in vouchers, but I will never shop there again. It's just all in all, I've got a really bad taste in my mouth about this shop. So, has anything like this ever happened to you? I'm sorry it's been quite a long one, a bit of a ranty one. So if any of you have had this happen to you, I would love to know if any of you have been accused of murder or a crime that you did not commit. And I never ended up buying my wine either. I ended up putting my wine down. I could have done with my glass of wine that night. So if you managed to make it to the end of this video, well done, because it's been a bit of a rant. I have been a little bit animated, and I have waited quite some time to make this because it did anger me so much. I just couldn't believe it. So in my next video, hopefully I'll have a bit of a slightly more rested face, a face that doesn't say, "I spent all of yesterday drinking gin," and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye for now.